The man had no money for clothes. He just swiped his hand over some bills, and piles of cash fell from behind him, followed by a few coins clinking to the ground. One day, the man was crossing the street when he was suddenly hit and sent flying. Lisa rushed out of her car to check on him, but the man abruptly sat up. Seeing the injury on his leg, Lisa quickly grabbed her phone to call an ambulance, only to find the man had vanished. The man slipped into a secluded corner. Then a door opened in his ear, and two tiny people walked out. They threw down a coil of rope and slid down to the man's lower leg. They opened a hidden panel there and began repairing the broken bone. It turned out the man wasn't human. He was a human-shaped alien spacecraft, controlled by a crew of miniature people. Their leader was named Dave. Their goal was to steal Earth's water resources, but they had lost the water absorption device during landing. Just then Lisa caught up to him and invited the man to her home. Not wanting to reveal himself, he agreed. Lisa warmly offered him water. The tiny crew inside were instantly washed away. As he prepared to leave, he spotted the water absorption device in Lisa's son's hands and decided to go to the school to find him. The man went to the school disguised as a teacher. The students doubted he was a real teacher, so the man started solving problems on the board. The students were stunned when a boy needed to sharpen a pencil. He stuck the pencil right into his nose and pulled it out perfectly sharpened. He found Lisa's son and learned the device had been taken by a bully. He went outside to find the bully and stumbled upon a robbery in progress. The man swatted the robber away with one hand and easily crumpled their gun like paper. Terrified, the robbers fled. The man found the bully at the playground and successfully retrieved the device. But he didn't act immediately. Instead, he took Lisa and her son out for dinner. The police had discovered the man's true identity. They showed up at the restaurant and took him to jail. The tiny crew inside decided to fight back, ordering the ship to switch to combat mode. A laser shot from the man's hand, blasting a huge hole in the wall, and he walked out of the police station. But he didn't know that a greater danger was approaching him. The little bear just pressed a button when a huge pile of clothes fell from above, burying him completely. He even pulled a red sock from his mouth. Parker worked for a long time, finally got everything sorted. He quickly took off his clothes and stuffed them into the washing machine. Who remembered anything about a stinky sock? By the time he realized, the red sock was spinning in a washing machine. He rushed to open the door, but ended up breaking the handle completely. Now he was really in trouble. So on his first day in prison, Parker became everyone's enemy. Nobody could stand the sight of him. Parker pretended not to notice and hurried to sit down for dinner. Parker took a spoonful and put it in his mouth. His face instantly changed expression. The other inmates were used to this. They were angry, but didn't dare complain, all because the cook was too powerful. A nearby inmate watching the drama told Parker that the cook was the toughest fighter there. If you've got the guts, go confront him. Parker wasn't one to back down. He went straight to the kitchen to face the cook. He grabbed bread and hit the cook on the head with it. The more he talked, the more worked up he got. He even squeezed jam all over the cook. Parker frantically tried to wipe it clean, but only made it worse. Then came the final straw. He added a container of butter too. That was the last straw. Just as the cook's fist was about to come down, Parker was dancing with panic. At this critical moment, Parker shoved his homemade bread into the cook's mouth. The cook's expression instantly changed. He was completely won over by the taste. It made Parker his right-hand man. The kitchen turned into a dessert factory. Prisoners sang and danced every day. Even the guards became friendly with Parker. One day, Parker decided to escape. So when the lights went out that night, the four of them opened the floor they dug earlier. Without hesitation, they jumped in, then crawled forward one by one, followed the pipes downward, landed in a pile of old clothes, pushed a laundry cart, gathered their belongings, made their way up to the clock tower. Parker grabbed the pendulum and started climbing up. Using his small size, he squeezed through gaps in the gears, reached the top floor. They found their homemade hot air balloon and left the prison in plain sight. But after landing, Parker was stunned. These guys' real goal was simply to escape prison. They never really intended to help clear his name. Furious, Parker parted ways with them. Now he was a fugitive. Penniless, Parker went to a phone booth and made a call, then set out on his journey to find Claire. The boy walked to the edge of a cliff, and the next second he fell into a canyon. The canyon was filled with gold. The boy stared in disbelief. He excitedly rushed toward the gold, frantically scooping up handfuls from the ground. By now the boy had lost all reason. Suddenly a glimmer of light caught his eye. Curious, he moved closer to look, but was startled by a skeletal figure. He pushed the skeleton over, took a bracelet and put it on his own wrist. Then he charged toward another pile of gold. As he obsessively gathered the treasure, he didn't notice an eerie mist rising behind him. By the time his older brother arrived, the boy was gone. Only his scorched shoes and clothes remained. The brother instantly realized something terrible had happened. Just as everyone prepared to leave, a golden dragon chased their ship. It snatched the brother into the air and carried him high above a small island. From above, the brothers saw letters formed on the ground and finally understood. The boy had been cursed for his greed, transformed into a dragon for stealing the treasure. Noticing the golden bracelet on the dragon's wrist, the sister reached up and pulled it off. But to break the curse, they had to defeat the sea monster. They quickly set sail to find it. But as their ship neared an island, thick fog enveloped them. The crew began to hallucinate, dropping their oars uncontrollably. Near the reefs around the island, they encountered a man who had gone mad. The dragon picked him up and placed him on the deck. At the same time, the sea monster stirred and attacked the group. In the critical moment, the dragon charged at the sea monster. The two giant creatures clashed. The sea monster flung the dragon into rocks. Just as it was about to devour him, the dragon breathed a blast of fire. The sea monster fell back into the sea. Badly wounded, the dragon fled and finally collapsed on a stretch of white sand. When he opened his eyes again, a lion stood before him. It opened its mouth and killed the dragon's wings. As the dragon's body lifted uncontrollably into the air, the curse on the boy was broken. The three siblings lived happily ever after. The man put on a mask, then drove a car to pull up a steel cable. The armored truck on the bridge couldn't react in time. It slid right down the cable and crashed. The robbers were armed with guns. They used a tow hook to smash open the truck doors, rushed inside, and overpowered the guards. Just then, one robber ran into the distance, pulled off a tarp to reveal an identical armored truck. They removed the GPS from the original truck and quickly transferred it to the matching vehicle. Because if the signal went silent for too long, the command center would immediately call the police. The female robber finished her part and changed clothes, then drove off in a black getaway van. The other robbers followed close behind. Soon they arrived at a bank. The woman went to the adjacent parking lot, while the robbers approached the vault entrance. Using the guards' credentials to full security, they smoothly entered the vault area. Then a group of robbers jumped out of the van. They took the staff inside hostage, placed explosives on the vault door, and moved to a safe distance. The door blew open with a huge hole. Alarms sounded throughout the vault. One robber rushed inside and started frantically grabbing cash. Two others stood guard outside. Soon they had filled 3 large bags. Then the robbers set the armored truck on fire, quickly placed explosives against the wall. The woman drove over to pick them up. The 3 loaded the bags into the trunk and drove off in plain sight of bystanders. Just as a witness was about to call the police, he lost his life the next moment. 3 figures in black began their massacre. Meanwhile, the robbers were completely unaware. They proceeded with their original plan, first changing into fresh suits, then setting off homemade diversionary bombs, and driving off in separate directions. The man laughed triumphantly in his car. Suddenly, a police car appeared beside them. His partner opened fire on the police car, but it accelerated toward them. The partner threw out a handful of spikes. The police car flipped over instantly, yet the man felt uneasy. As they kept driving, a bright light shone directly at them. Another vehicle rammed them from behind. The man was knocked out on the spot. His partner got out alone and started a gunfight. The man woke up, saw his chance, and ran. But what he didn't know was that the real crisis was only just beginning.